If seeing the rainbow flag draped across the White House was demoralizing for you, this video is going to make your day. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and we got a brand new study just came out surveying various groups among our population to see how many of us believe there are only two genders. And the results are going to absolutely blow you away. We've got some stunning new polling coming from the Public Religion Research Institute. Now, if you don't know, the PRRI, the Public Religion Research Institute, they are a very, very liberal institute. They're radically left-wing, and yet even they recognize that something is happening in our culture. They were utterly shocked by what they found in their latest polling, and they're sounding the alarm among their woke leftist ilk. They're now recognizing, to their horror, that the political and cultural landscape is shifting. And this is key. It's shifting across the board. And it's shifting dramatically away from the sentiments of the woke left, particularly when it comes to attitudes acceptable among trans activists. According to data published in their latest report, the Public Religion Research Institute found that the percentage of the population that believes there are only two genders has actually increased. It's gone up over the last 2 years, and it's increased across the board. In other words, it's not just white evangelicals or Republicans that are more inclined to say that there are only two genders. It's Gen Zers, it's millennials, it's blacks, it's Latinos. We're talking across the board. Here are some of the stats for you. In 2021, 86% of white evangelicals believed there were only two genders. Today, that number has increased to 92%. Now, enough of you sky is falling doom and gloom naysayers who think the church is falling apart here. The number of white evangelicals affirming only two genders has gone up. But the same kind of increase is evident even among the religiously unaffiliated. According to this study, those who claim to be religiously unaffiliated have gone from 38% affirming only two genders back in 2021 to now upwards of 46%, a near 10-point increase. But gang, we're just getting warmed up here. We've seen an even more dramatic surge among Gen Zers, those aged around 18 to 24. The percentage of Gen Zers who believe there are only two genders has increased from 43% in 2021 to now an astonishing 57% today. Nearly 6 in 10 Gen Zers believe there are only two genders. This is corroborated by studies that have found that Gen Zers are the most conservative generation we've been able to study in the last 100 years or so. They're being called the Jordan Peterson generation. And what we're finding is that Gen Zers hate, they literally despise political correctness and wokeness. Now, for millennials, the increase is similar. They've gone from 51% affirming two genders back in 2021 to 60% today. But guess what? Even among Democrats, I kid you not, Democrats, the percentage of those affirming only two genders increased from 38% in 2021 to 44% today. Democrats are seeing an increase in so-called anti-trans affirming views. That was the conclusion of this study from this left-wing organization. Now, this study is coming out at the same time the new Gallup poll just got published on transgender attitudes. Wait until you see these findings. They're going to blow your mind as well. But first, gang, if you suffer from daily pain, I need you to listen to this message very carefully, because as we age, aches and pains are all normal. And we're all searching for more effective ways to relieve pain. But in light of this opioid crisis, safety is more important than ever. And that's where a groundbreaking medical scientist comes in, Clint Winters. Now, if you've seen Clint on Fox, you've read about him in Forbes. He's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called Kano CB2. It's the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds. It's the go-to pain reliever for hundreds of professional athletes, tens of thousands of seniors, and the pain reliever of choice for the UFC. And the best news, Kano CB2 has no documented side effects after years in private testing. It's absolutely the future pain relief. Just ask the athletes in the UFC. It's their official pain reliever. So whatever you do, gang, make sure to click on that link below and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how Kano CB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. According to the latest Gallup poll conducted in May of this year, 69% of respondents, 7 in 10, believe that athletes should only be allowed to compete based on their gender assigned at birth. In other words, 7 in 10 respondents believe that athletes should compete based on their biological gender, not their self-identified gender. Now, that's an impressive majority for sure, but when compared with the same poll taken 2 years ago, back in May 2021, we find there's been, again, a noticeable shift in the direction towards biological gender. Back in 2021, 62% of respondents held that athletes should only be allowed to compete based on their gender assigned at birth. 6 in 10. Now it's 7 in 10. And so according to Gallup, there's a clear decline in support for transgender athletes, even among respondents who reported personally knowing a transgender individual. So back in 2021, 40% of those who knew personally a transgender individual supported their competing in athletics based on their self-identified gender. But today, that number's dropped to 30%. So now only 30% of those who know personally a transgender person think they should compete based on their self-identified gender. So these findings clearly underscore what many are noting is nothing less than a growing resistance to transgender athletes participating in women's sports. And this growing opposition is starting to make its way into governing sports bodies. So most recently, the World Athletics Council, the governing body for international track and field competitions, they've announced that they've officially barred all transgender athletes from competing in women's sports competition. And that decision came on the heels of a comparable decision from the World International Governing Body for Swimming, known as FINA, which stands for the International Swimming Federation. So some months back, they decisively ruled that post-pubescent biological males would be banned, without exception, from competing in women's swimming competition. So clearly the tables are turning here, as it were, on trans activism. And as we're seeing with the extraordinary success of the Bud Light boycott, the Target boycotts and the like, along with the latest polling from the Public Religion Research Institute, I mean, this table turning goes way beyond just athletic competition. It's going to be it's going to the very heart of what it means to be a man and a woman. Right? The number of people affirming only two genders is increasing, not decreasing, in total opposition to the sentiments that woke, Inc. and trans activists have been doing everything they possibly can to foster and cultivate over the last few years. Like I've argued consistently now for the last 6 years, the world is moving away from the woke left and is more and more embracing a far more conservative, traditionalist conception of life. Yes, it's frustrating, frustratingly slow and often bewildering, but make no mistake, a new conservative age is on the horizon, and there's nothing the left can do to stop it. Hey gang, if you want to connect with more courageous patriots and start taking action and organizing, be sure to join my Telegram group. I post the latest breaking news I find interesting and chat with my favorite patriots around the country and even the world. Click the link in the description below and join the conversation today.